There are a number of mountain film festivals around the world, and Kendal started off in the mid-80s, and it's developed and grown, and we've had it every year here since 1999. And sort of amazingly, we've discovered that we're actually the world's largest mountain film festival. I mean, as a business, we bring in £1.3 million to the local economy over this weekend, over 3.5 days. So it is quite a big deal, but there are lots of them around the world, but we've been one of the top 4 for a long time. But I mean, we've got by far the largest lecture program. We've got 40 speakers over the weekend, but really film's at the heart of the festival. And we had almost 200 film entries into the film competition. We kind of whittled those down, shortlisted them down to 70, all of which are playing over the weekend in the various venues. The judges have made their decisions who's going to win the prizes. I don't know who they are, don't want to know until the day, and we'll be doing an award ceremony on Sunday afternoon. Really, it's a celebration, principally of the mountains, but all the other things that kind of flow from that within the outdoors, so skiing, paddling, adventure travel, discovery, base flying, just about anything that you can do under your own power in the outdoors. Some of the stories these guys are telling, are incredible. Put it simply, a lot of these guys are real life James Bonds without all the spooking involved, and some of the things that get up to. And what's really happened, particularly over the past 5 or 10 years, is modern digital camera equipment's got so much cheaper, it's readily available, so it is easier to go off and make your own film, but that doesn't necessarily mean you make a good film, because you've still got to have those basic skills of editing, directing, and really telling a story. And that at the end of the day, that hasn't changed. That's where the art lies. The great thing about the Lake District is, the whole idea of enjoying yourself in the outdoors came from this part of the world. Wordsworth, the Romantic poets, end of the 18th, beginning of the 19th century, the idea that wild places were beautiful was a novel idea until these guys put it on the map, and well, it's been growing ever since, really. So there is this incredibly strong connection culturally with the Lake District.
I was really quite flattered to be asked to come to Kendal Mountain Film Festival, because this has always kind of been an event for incredible people, and when they asked me to come along, I was a bit like, what for? To talk? I thought I was like the bit that was going to talk to the kids and just do the family section, but they asked me to talk here, which is quite a big venue, so yeah, massive compliment, quite nervous, but what an exciting event. I've been flicking through the programme, there's not one thing that I didn't want to come to. People always ask me if I was sporty or an adventure or anything like that, but I wasn't. I just ended up working at Blue Peter, and it was an opportunity, really. They've got such a fantastic resource of people and skills and money, crudely, that it seemed daft not to make the most of all those resources and try and set up some big adventures. So I just started suggesting stuff to my bosses, which at first they thought was mad, and then thought, oh well, if we think it's mad, maybe it'll make good TV. So that's kind of how it all started, really. I was asked by Sport Relief to do a challenge for them, and they asked me to do something in South America to try and get some attention on the projects that they fund in South America. And for me, obviously the two iconic things in America are both start in Peru, and the Amazon just seemed like such an exciting place that I thought I wanted to do something there, and it kind of stemmed from that, really. I was on the river for 40 days, kayaking for 40 days, sorry, and then a week travelling back up it, and I think probably the best thing about it was seeing pink and grey dolphins every single day. Not one day went by that I didn't see a dolphin. Yeah, on bad days you saw them in the distance, on good days they'd be a paddle away from me. On Valentine's Day, funnily enough, I ended up in the middle of a pink dolphin mating frenzy. They were jumping all over each other. There was sort of 7 or 8 pairs, and I was just as giddy as a 5-year-old on Christmas morning. Over there, over there, over there, over there. And of course, it's just, you never capture it as well as you want to on camera, because there was so much going on and it was so close, and being right in the middle of it, it's so hard to explain to people how amazing it was because you can't really see that on TV. On TV, it's just a load of different splashes. I think the worst point for me was definitely the halfway mark. I'm quite superstitious, and I'd said to my colleagues, I don't want to celebrate halfway. I don't want to mark that. Let's just get through it, get on with it. And of course they did. They let off flares and banners and all the rest of it, and they said, come on, you should celebrate this. So we did, you know, pat ourselves on the back. But later that same day, I got horrifically seasick and I ended up throwing up everywhere. And so much so that I couldn't carry on, whereas in previous days I'd got sick, but, you know, not enough to take me off the river. But that day I ended up, pretty ill in bed, and that was the worst thing, not getting sick, but the fact that I'd started the day, you know, as a bit of a hero in the gang. Everyone was like, yeah, you legend, and then finished it, this pathetic, stinking, horrible mess, and just looking at everyone's faces, it was just painful. I'm from Penrith, and I used to spend a lot of time in Keswick, Grasmere, climbing Sharp Edge, and going over to the Pennines as well, because that's often quieter. My friends and colleagues in London get sick of me talking about Cumbria in the Lake District because they're just like, yeah, all right, Helen, we get it. You love growing up there, you're proud of that. But I've been lucky enough over the past couple of years to travel quite a bit. Everybody I meet raves about the Lake District, and I don't have to say anything, you just go, yeah, that's home for me.